You may remember, if you've been watching my reviews for a while, that I received, I think it was in October or November, I received my first Evernight book, which was You Weren't Meant to Be Human. And it was disgusting. The story was terrible. It was an awful book in every way. And it was that bad that I immediately got rid of it. And I wasn't really having particularly high hopes for the next one. But when it arrived, it was a very pretty book. Very pretty indeed. I still have it up here, which is a good sign if you take into account that I immediately sold the last one. We Call Them Witches is literally a line from the book. And we find ourselves in an apocalypse of sorts. But it's not been a nuclear war. It's not a zombie apocalypse. It's not anything like the conventional kind of storyline. And instead what it is it's difficult to explain. They're sort of entities created from their surroundings. So in one particular scene, the main family, the focus of the story, are escaping their flat in the city in like a flashback as to what happened. And a creature made out of discarded bin bags full of trash just sort of amalgamates into a monster. And in the forest, they're made of bits of bark and antlers and skulls and things. Whatever is around, they seem to sort of bring it into a cohesive unit, and then that is the creature that comes for you. And they're intelligent. Despite whatever they're made of, they're very intelligent. They call them witches because they are only kept at bay by the wards that you would associate with witchcraft. So your little pouches of herbs and bark and little things that you would put in a pouch and hang from a tree or bury in the ground. That's the only thing that keeps them away. So they decide to get at this family that is hiding in a country cottage in the woods. They need to be more intelligent. I won't say any more than that, but yeah. This one was suitably creepy. I have to be brutally honest, for a horror book box subscription where it's all supposed to be adult horror. There's no YA to my knowledge in this subscription. This didn't really feel like an adult horror. It was more like a high-end YA horror, which is fine because it worked well. But I don't really think Illumicrate get the idea of a horror book box. They either go far too far with like extreme splatterpunk in terms of the last book, or they go really mild with this one. We need stuff in the middle. The actions of one particular character in this, Parsley, were incredibly predictable, and I saw it from, I think, the second chapter she was in. I knew exactly what was going to happen. But unlike many other books where that detracts from the rest of the story, because you're reading going, yeah, just get to the inevitable thing. In this one, it didn't actually detract from that, because the reveal of what happened is quite heart-wrenching. So it saved it from becoming a monotonous trek through the inevitable. The ending, I think, was okay. I could see where it was going. It still felt a little bit abrupt, but I could see where it was going. So, I don't think there could be another one. I don't know if there is one in the works. I would suspect not because of how it ended. But yeah, it was pretty good. I gave it 4 stars, and I'm not getting rid of it. So I suppose that in itself is an endorsement for the book. I've yet to have an Illumicrate book that I feel is worth the money, though. That's one thing I will say. I think if you could get this book on Amazon or in a bookshop somewhere, much cheaper, you don't need the fancy-ass edition. Yes, it's nice to look at, but the story doesn't match up with the aesthetic in any of the books I've read so far. I've had one that was terrible and disgusting. I had the sci-fi one, which I DNF'd because it was that bad. And now we're on to this one, which is a good story, but it's nothing special. So, will I cancel it? I don't know. I've got one more sci-fi coming next month. We'll see. But this one was all right.